Thanks everybody for joining us today. We're very lucky to have Samantha from Explora with us today. She's going to go through some of the things that make Explora special. And yeah, Samantha, take it away.
Thank you so much, Matt. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I might start by telling you a bit about myself. As Matt said, my name's Sam. I've been with Explora for just over 2 years, but I have been in cruise for around 20 and around 25 total in the travel industry. So been on a few ships, and I can tell you that Explora is absolutely the most amazing cruise brand that I've ever been on board. And I'm so happy to share some of the amazing things about it with you. So as I said, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about all the beautiful things that make Explora so special. One of the things that I would like to tell you is Explora Journeys is owned by the MSC Group. MSC Group is the largest shipping company in the world. And although we don't necessarily have anything to do with the MSC brand, that is where the business started. And actually, it's a family-owned brand, and they are so, I guess, involved in every step of the process. And when they decided to launch Explora Journeys and get into the luxury space, they went and surveyed 20,000 luxury travellers who refused to cruise. And they asked those travellers what it was about cruising that they thought was missing and what they would need to see on a ship to change their mind and go on an ocean journey. And actually, the feedback from those clients is really the backbone of the brand. And I think that's one of the things that makes Explora so different and so special. So, as I said, we're here today with Matt and Ange, and we are talking about, I'm going to talk about a specific journey a little bit later that we might have a very exclusive deal for you. And I will show you a video, and I'll talk through some of the itinerary points and things that are included as well. So as I said, I'm going to touch briefly on the itinerary that we may have a very special deal for. So this one is going from Tokyo to Hong Kong. Now, we have just launched our program in Asia, so it's super, super exciting. And I think what, people will really find is we are doing those celebrated ports, but we're also spending time in ports that you might not necessarily have gone to before. And this itinerary in particular, I think, is really special because you get some of the hugest contrast that you can probably have cruising. You've got the bright lights and big city of Hong Kong and Shanghai, but you've also got beautiful islands and even places off the coast of Japan, which a lot of people don't realize there's world-class snorkeling and diving and just a really lovely contrast between culture and the nature experience, the ocean, and then as well those hustle and bustle big cities that you get to visit. So it is really such an amazing itinerary with so many different things to see and do in the 11 nights. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. I want to talk briefly about what the journeys include. So as I mentioned earlier, you get your unlimited beverages on board. That's all the time, anytime, whenever, including in your room. So, of course, we have room service, but we also have a mini bar in your room that is curated to your taste. So we will actually speak to travel agents beforehand and find out what their guests want, because we would never put gin in a whiskey drinker's room, God forbid, or vice versa. You'll also get a bottle of champagne on arrival, refreshments in your room. It is just a beautiful room as well. The ocean terrace is absolutely stunning. Most comfortable bed I've ever slept in. You've got a large terrace area, big enough to have your dining furniture as well as a beautiful day bed. Lovely to, drag the quilt off your bed and lay on your day bed on your terrace at night and look at the stars. And you also have a beautiful marble bathroom, heated floors, walk-in robe. It is just absolutely stunning. And that is in your ocean terrace. When you go up to penthouses and residence, it gets bigger. And of course, you have some, larger spaces and larger inclusions. So as I said, you've got your unlimited fine wines, beverages, tea, coffee, whatever you would like. And we also have there's 9 culinary experiences on board, but there is 6 restaurants. So it's not a cruise ship where you have a main dining room that you go to. You can go to whichever restaurant you like. All of them are amazing. And some of them are smaller and some of them are bigger, so you get like quite a different experience. And one of them is what I would call, it's not a buffet, but it would be our answer to a buffet, and it's chef stations. So that's called Emporium Marketplace. And you can go up there and let's say that you feel like some fish. You go to the fish station and the fish is raw, and you order the fish you like and how you'd like it cooked, and the chef will cook it in front of you. So it's an absolutely amazing experience. There is also an amazing pasta station where you choose your protein and your pasta and your sauce. Don't be fooled into thinking that you'll just have one bowl of pasta, because you probably end up having 7 like me and then regretting all your choices because you've got, a carb coma. But the food is absolutely sensational, and it's just amazing. So you have a lot of choice of food and beverage. On top of that, you get thermal spa access, which is included as well. So our thermal spa is a beautiful space. There's steam room, there's a salt room, there's an ice fall, there's another pool down there. You've got rainforest shower, you've got sauna, and all of that is included, and you can go there as often as you like. I would recommend, of course, on sea days to book your space, just because we don't want everyone down there at the same time. All your gratuities, of course, are included, and shuttle services in the city centres. So if we arrive somewhere where we're not directly in town, we will provide you a shuttle service free of charge into town, so you can go shopping or what have you. And then, of course, the service. The service is just sensational. Everyone has a sweet host to look after you. They're not kind of they're not bustling around being sort of in your face all the time, but they're always there for you if you want something in your room, a different quilt, a different pillow, some extra coat hangers, whatever it is that you need, your sweet host will be there for you. And importantly, these days, complimentary high-speed Wi-Fi. Each room has their own router, and it is Starlink. So if you're unlucky like me and you have to work when you're on the ship, sadly, your Wi-Fi will never fail. It is very reliable and very good, and you can have up to 3 devices. So there's a lot of a lot of opportunity to unfortunately check your emails.
That's awesome. We always spend a fortune on Wi-Fi when we're cruising.
It actually really adds up. I often think of by the time people end up purchasing their Wi-Fi and even an elevated beverage package, or they go to this thermal spa, as most cruise lines will have, it really does, add up, and you're surprised how much you end up actually spending at the end.
With the chef station, so they're just making that like upon order, must cut down on wastage, rather than having a full buffet with every station that's just full of food. Does that actually help?
Absolutely. And I mean, as you would have seen in the video, the whole brand is very sustainability focused. And so the wastage is definitely kept to a minimum. And it is, prepared fresh for you. So it's not sitting out all day waiting for you. I mean, there is exceptions, of course. We don't churn the ice cream. But definitely, when it comes to the hot food, there's a pizza station and they'll pull the dough in front of you. It is amazing, and it's really part of the experience as well, because you get to see, them actually cook it. And when I was on, I like fish, but it's not something that I would ordinarily choose in a restaurant. But they had this sea bass at the seafood station, and the chef just cooked it in a pan with some butter and like sage or something. And oh my God, I had one of those pieces of fish every day. The way that they prepare it for you, it's so fresh and so delicious. So I wanted to show you some of the destinations I mentioned earlier on this particular itinerary that we're talking about, starting in Tokyo, where obviously you have just such a huge pot of different culture. You've got the food and the big city, and the Japanese culture is just, amazing in itself. And then you are also getting to travel to these amazing coastal destinations in Japan. And not only that, some of the places like in Okinawa, very, very spiritual, and you get to learn and see a lot of the kind of, I guess, heritage and history and culture that you might not necessarily get in those big cities. And I think one of the things that, you know, people often don't think about so much with Southeast Asia in particular when they're cruising is that they really get to have such a, you know, cultural experience that they might not necessarily get just going to one of those big cities. And then, of course, you've got Shanghai, which, if you haven't been to China, it is just a sensational city. There's lots of culture there as well, lots of beauty, lots of shopping, if that's what you're into, which, of course, you know, obviously I am. And then, you know, of course, that you're going to places like Toba, which are really spiritual islands, and getting to snorkel, getting to swim. If you're a diver, there's diving opportunities. So there's so much really on this itinerary that I think, you know, will just suit so many different people and give you just a really surprising and amazing experience. The other thing is, when we arrive into Hong Kong, we actually arrive the day before the cruise finishes, so you get to stay overnight and really right in town, and you get to use the ship really like your hotel in the centre of the city, which in itself is a sensational experience. And if you haven't been to Hong Kong before, again, it is just such a vibrant, amazing city, and there's so much to see and do there. I've got a little food video, which I just think is something very worthwhile watching because, as I mentioned before, the food is amazing. I hope you're not hungry, because by the time you watch this, you'll absolutely be needing to go and get something from the fridge. It's just a great little insight into how amazing the food is.
I wasn't hungry. I am now.
The spaces look really nice as well. The actual.
Oh, they are
really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are all the restaurants included with your cruise fare, or are there a la carte or extra fees to eat at some of these restaurants on a daily basis?
Great question. All of the restaurants are included except for one, which actually I didn't feature in that video. So we have the 6 included restaurants, and then we have Anthology. I wouldn't call Anthology specialty dining as such. Anthology is like I guess a food experience. The menu is a set menu, so you would only go once, I guess, if you were going, and it's a 7-course degustation Mediterranean menu that has been designed by a guest chef. So it's something that, and actually the times that I have been on the ship, I've thought, oh, I'm going to go. And then I've gotten so wrapped up on how delicious everything is that I actually haven't been yet. But it is something that people would do, you know, for a very special occasion, or if you were a huge foodie and you wanted to try the experience. It's sensational. And I believe it to be €140.
Okay. With the other restaurants, the ones that are included, like, are you making reservations to go to those?
If you wanted something very specific for Sakura and the steak restaurant, I would reserve if you wanted to go for a specific time, simply because they're smaller spaces. Okay. Med Yacht Club and Fil Rouge, don't need to reserve. They're quite big spaces, and of course Emporium Marketplace you don't need to reserve. The cafe does serve sort of food as well, breakfast, and if you don't have to reserve for that either. It would really only be Marble & Co and Sakura. Sakura is my absolute favorite. If I could go there every day, I absolutely would. The food there is amazing. So I would definitely book there if it was me, because I would be all kinds of devastated if I couldn't have lunch there every day. It is delicious.
Now, with those restaurants as well, is that a rotating menu at those locations, or are they kind of a set menu?
They're a set menu.
Okay.
The menu I'm sure will change, but at the moment the menu is definitely set. It's very extensive though. Like the Med Yacht Club, for example, yes, it's Mediterranean food, but you're looking at a Mediterranean experience that's going from Morocco, around to Greece, Turkey. So you get the whole kind of gamut of different kind of cuisine. So it's it's delicious as well.
Wow.
So you can certainly eat at these restaurants more than once and not feel like you're just eating the same thing over and over again.
No.
There's extensive menus.
Yes, the menu's extensive. Yes, definitely.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I wanted to show you a few little pictures. This is, so as I said, there is several pools on board and a lot of beautiful spaces. Even the way the spas have been designed, instead of being round, so you're sitting playing footsies with your new best friend that you don't know, they're actually long and cantilevered on the side of the ship. So you sit in the spa looking out at the ocean, which is just a stunning design. This is my favourite pool area. This is the Astern pool, and at the back you've got the bar. It's just a beautiful infinity pool where you look over the back of the ship. There's 64 cabanas there, as well as lounge and dining furniture. There is enough cabanas around the pool for everybody. I've never, ever been in a situation where I haven't been able to lay. Very, very comfortable. I'm taking my daughter for her birthday. Well, actually, she's taking me. She said, if I pay half, can you take me? And I said, well, look, I don't know if I want to go on holidays. I'll have to think about it. And I just think that she's 18 and all she wants to do is make TikToks around the pool. I was like, oh, goodness gracious, you're going to be so annoying. But it just goes to show, it's so beautiful, and it really appeals to a lot of people.
I think it's a special pool. I think it's pretty unusual to have an infinite pool.
Yeah, it's a spectacular setting.
It's amazing. This is one of the other spaces. So this is actually 2 decks above the Astern. And one of the pools as well is an adults only pool. So if you are someone that definitely doesn't want to see any children, I would go to that space. Having said that, the last time I was on the ship, I went into Kids Club to see how many kids there were. And I couldn't believe that, there were 30 kids in there, and I didn't see one apart from when I went in there. So if you are someone that is concerned about having children running around everywhere, please don't be. It is not that kind of experience. And I think the families that are traveling with us, they know that, and their kids know that. And we generally get older kids as well. So I think, it's important that people aren't frightened of the children. I mean, I know that not everyone loves children. I have 3 of them, and sometimes I can't stand my own. So I totally get it. So this is one of the lounges. One of the things about our entertainment, I find I love it. One of the interesting pieces of feedback very early on was that people, when they are cruising and relaxing, they don't want to sort of have to be, we have to be at this place by this time for this, production of Hairspray, or we won't be able to do anything for the whole night. And so what we actually have is, instead of having those Vegas style shows, we will have several different things going on throughout the ship on any given night at any given time, and it's quite guest led. So for example, if we're having a silent disco and the silent disco, it's not pumping, then they'll change it up. We also have a partnership with Steinway, and we have a waiting list of musicians that want to come on to the ship to play the Steinways. So one night we could have, a DJ in one lounge, with kind of disco dance music, and then down the other end of the ship there could be someone playing a classical, monologue, and then you might have a cover band in another lounge. So there's lots of different things happening. So people have a lot of choice in what they want to do. We still have those traditional cruise fun kind of trivia nights, and we played airport code trivia and we lost.
Oh, that's not good.
I was like, guys, come on.
Last time we played airport code trivia, we won. So.
Yes.
We lost by 1 to a lovely American family who had been around the globe, and we lost on an obscure island in the Caribbean. So he forgave us because he's like, I understand that you Australians might not have been here. But lots of fun. And I think, that the entertainment is definitely very thorough, and there's lots and lots of different things to do, but it's not as traditional, I guess, as what people might think of when they think of those cruise ship Vegas style shows. This is just a little short video about the ship's design. It's only about 30 seconds, but it just gives you a beautiful idea of the interiors and what things actually look and feel like, because it does, it really relaxes you. And that's where that saying that you would have heard earlier, the ocean state of mind, comes from, because it's really about, relaxing into the whole experience. That just gives you a beautiful idea of how it feels on board.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, the ships are beautiful.
It is stunning, and it's I almost sometimes feel like I don't have the correct words to say. The service is just impeccable. The staff and the crew are just incredible and so committed to that experience and making sure that everyone has, an amazing time. And so,
what kind of numbers are we looking at for that crew to passenger ratio typically?
It's 1.1. So for every 1.1 passengers, there's one crew member.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the ship takes 900 guests, just to give you an idea, but we're very rarely at capacity, because when I say 900, that's with our third and fourth berths full. Generally speaking, when we have families on board, they're taking an interconnecting. We do have interconnecting suites. So unless you've got quite small children, we'll find that most people, because, most people have been travelling with older kids, or, we're quite popular with people whose children are 21 or 20 and they want to travel as a family, they're taking that interconnecting suite. So we find we're around the 700 mark is probably what we would consider at capacity, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe that might be the last slide.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions.
Question away, I can't wait.
So obviously, they're a European company. So what does that mean? Like, just on board, is it European plugs that you need, like a European PowerPoint?
There is American and European on board. And I will say that someone asked me this question recently. I mean, I have done my laptop, so I have used a plug. I shouldn't say that, but the person said to me, well, how do you plug your phone in? What is it? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because there's power stations in your rooms. Just put your phone down. You don't actually have to plug your phone in.
Okay.
Which is amazing. And then in your walk-in robe, you also have a Dyson Airwrap. Now, I understand, Matt, that might not be something that really interests
what is that?
you, but it is, the fanciest of fancy hair machine dryer, straightener, all in one that you can buy. And so no one has to plug their hair straighteners in or take a hairdryer. And I know that sounds like a silly thing, but I've heard many, many stories now of people that loved it so much that they've bought one duty free on their way home. And I think that to buy them in Australia, I think they're about $1,500.
Whoa.
So people are loving having that in their dressing room. So
That's
there's
why I
no
haven't blown
plugging.
dry my hair in
Yeah, I
30
can
years.
tell. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are, I think, a lot of those little extra touches as well that you kind of don't think about too much until you're on board and you're like, oh wow, that's so cool. But should you need to plug in a laptop, American and European, so you will need an adapter. But I'm sure if you forget your adapter, we will be able to provide you one.
Okay, all right.
Lovely. Now, you were mentioning a lot of, obviously the food is something that's important, and I would say from what we've seen probably sets you guys apart a little bit. Any signature dishes that you would kind of recommend? You said that you really enjoyed Sakura. What's maybe your favorite item on that menu that you would just say to people you absolutely have to try?
I have two favorite items on that menu. One is the Wagyu steak, which is like thinly sliced and delicious. And the other one is the mango pavlova. And I'm not really a pavlova person, but it is amazing. The other signature dish, which isn't in Sakura, is in Fil Rouge. There's two. If you're a caviar person, they do an eggs Benedict in the morning, and it's eggs Benedict caviar. And I would never have thought that caviar and eggs Benedict would be delicious, but it is delicious. And they also do a potato dish with caviar, which is also amazing. So that would be my caviar and my Sakura recommendations. Absolutely. In Med Yacht Club, they have the most delicious carpaccio I love. It's something that I order in every restaurant I ever go to, and it's sensational.
Yeah. So I'm guessing with the food being so nice, they've probably got a good wine list as well. Do they have someone to help you pair wines properly with your meal?
Absolutely. Yes, they do. The wine list is great, and there are definitely beverages that if you can purchase. Something I haven't mentioned in terms of the alcohol is we have a whiskey bar, and you can try whiskies from all around the world, and super popular. But if you wanted to try a 200-year-old whiskey that I don't know, I'm making this up, but Napoleon held or something like that. Those kind of things do attract a fee, but the menu that's included is extensive and amazing.
Yeah, and I guess good cocktails as well, probably.
Amazing cocktails. There's one called Stand By Me that one of the barmen in the lobby bar actually invented. He's very proud of it, and it is delicious, and it's on all the ships now.
Oh.
Yes. So if you're ever on board, you have to have that.
Have to have one of those for sure.
It's a gin cocktail. It's amazing.
Oh, I love gin.
Well, gin works. Gin works for us for sure. Obviously, with all this food, ability to work some of those extra calories off, fitness club, personal training, things like that available on board as well.
Absolutely. And that all plays into that ocean state of mind as well. The wellness, we have yoga, we have Pilates, we have a reformer Pilates studio. If you're in a penthouse or above, you actually have a reformer kit in your room, and the trainer can come to you and train you, which is super handy, particularly if you're someone like me who's not super coordinated and gets tangled up in machinery. There is a running track. There is an outdoor fitness center as well. So there's lots and lots of options for you there. Absolutely.
Great. I know you mentioned the 1-to-1 ratio, and that the staff are very attentive and everything, but not too in your face, with the room attendants. For customers that do want a bit more attention, or I don't know, extra help with things, is there any kind of butler service that notch up?
It depends on your room type. So if you're in a residence and above, you actually have a host that we call a suite manager, and they will, they will arrange sort of everything for you that you could possibly even imagine. In your ocean terraces, your suite host, I'll help you unpack, and if there's anything that you want, they're there for you, but they're not a butler per se, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now you did mention as well, a lot of there's obviously entertainment kind of spread throughout the ship. Is that something that kind of goes from just after dinner kind of on until later in the evening, or just kind of time frames? Are they, what's bedtime, I guess, is kind of a good way to do it. Obviously, if somebody wants to have dinner and maybe see a show, that's an availability to them and get to bed early. And obviously, if those want to stay up and have a couple of extra cocktails, that's available as well.
Yes, absolutely. It's very guest-led. I would say, generally speaking, well, I've been in the lobby bar at 1 a.m. and there was people there. But I've also been in the lobby bar at 11 a.m. No, I have not.
Come on, we've all been in a bar at 11 a.m. at some point.
11 p.m. where it's been quite quiet. I think it depends on the port as well. So obviously we do spend a lot of time in port. So if people have been out all day, quite often they might come back and it might be an earlier night. But as I said, it is quite a guest-led experience on board. And you do get, you will get a daily planner every day, which will tell you what's happening that evening. And then normally when we're sailing out in the afternoon, there's a DJ on deck 12 at the back, and it's so there's lots of things happening, and you'll always have a guide of what's happening. But generally speaking, yes, there is quite a lot of flexibility around the times, and there's things kind of happening at any given time. There's a lot of, the times that I've been on, there's been so much. I haven't even swum in all the pools yet. I haven't even been to all of the entertainment because there's always something to do. So, you absolutely have to go more than once so that you can try everything.
Okay, well, sign me up. I'm happy to go more than once.
I was just wondering too, it seems obviously kind of a high-end or refined, but it doesn't seem pretentious in any way. Dress code while on board. Are there formal evenings? What do people have to pack? They don't need to bring their tux for anything. But I guess just, kind of standard dress code for dinner and things of that nature.
You're absolutely right. It is. When we circling back to that beginning feedback that we received, it was, I don't want to have to be told what to wear. I want to be on holidays. And so it is a very kind of barefoot luxury feel. That being said, definitely wear shoes to dinner. I'm not, but I think the official dress code on board is elegant resort. But there's no formal nights. There's no need to wear a dinner jacket. It is very relaxed on board, and exactly what you would wear if you're on holidays in a resort, that kind of feeling. And having said that, if you want to wear sequins and tuxedo and, put on your very best feather hat, you can absolutely do that. But it is really up to the individual what they're comfortable with. We want people to feel at home, but in a beautiful environment.
Yeah, great.
Excellent.
Which I love. My husband loves that as well. He is one of those people that whenever we go somewhere for dinner, he always says, because obviously we live in Queensland, so he'll say, oh, do I have to wear pants? And when I say pants, I mean like jeans or not underpants. And, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, yes, you have to wear jeans or you have to wear slacks. You go, can I just wear shorts? No, you cannot. But it's 30 degrees. I don't care. So, and it obviously if you're on holidays in European summer or Caribbean or somewhere it's quite warm, you might not necessarily want to have to wear a tuxedo to dinner. And so, it is all about that guest comfort and, living your ocean state of mind.
Yeah, I love that ocean state of mind.
Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Sam. We really do appreciate it. We are really looking forward to taking our first Explora journey sometime in the very near future, hopefully. And as Sam mentioned, we do have exclusive journey that we are launching, so you can click on the little link below and it'll take you through to that information in regards to that Tokyo to Hong Kong itinerary that we were just taking a peek at. So we hope everybody has enjoyed the presentation, and we'd love some feedback. If anybody does have any questions, you can obviously email us through to us here at Anywhere Anyway, and if we don't know the answer, we'll get Sam to answer them for you.
Excellent.
Thanks again, Sam. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining our webinar today to learn more about Explora Journeys. We're genuinely excited to have shared this information with you. We have an exclusive offer on board Explora 3 sailing from Tokyo to Hong Kong beginning November 5th, 2027. Suites start at $12,896 per person. As a special thank you for joining our webinar, customers who place a deposit within the next 72 hours with us will receive their choice of one of 3 exclusive pre-cruise packages valued at up to $1,000 per suite. And if this itinerary isn't quite right for you, don't worry. Anywhere Anyway Travel is offering $500 per suite credit on any Explora Journeys sailing worldwide deposited with us within 7 days of watching this webinar. Explora Journeys offers some incredible itineraries, and we'd love to help you start planning your adventure. Connect with us at Anywhere Anyway Travel. We're here to make it easy.